Emotional awareness and control. Be aware of your emotional state when working with your horse. Highly negative emotions, especially anger and fear, can cause you to do things that may upset your horse and cause an unsafe situation for her or you. If you begin your interaction with your horse in a highly negative state, walk away and get your emotions under control first. Take deep breaths, think about things you're thankful for, and take the time it takes to emotionally settle before engaging with your horse again.
The next exercise we're going to work on is what I call yielding the hindquarters at the standstill. Okay, yielding the hindquarters at the standstill. So just like we talked about earlier when we're talking about yielding the hindquarters to stop, I want to talk about footwork first. The hind feet, remember, so when I say yield the hindquarters to the left, it's the horse's left. If I say I yield the hindquarters to the right, it's the horse's right. So, and if you're confused about that, then I'll try to direct you otherwise. But so if I'm the horse, and these are my 4 feet, so my hinds and my fronts, if I'm going to yield my hindquarters to the right, a horse has to put his weight onto the forehand, onto the front feet, especially the inside front foot, to be able to yield the hindquarters correctly. So they unweight their hind end forward onto that left front, and then they're going to step with their, if I'm going right, my left hind is going to step in front of my right hind, and then over, and then step in front and over, in front and over. Now my left front is going to stay steady. When they get it perfect, they're going to drill a little hole the size of their hoof right in the arena sand. Okay? And then the right front, so if they're moving right, the right front is going to walk around the left front. So this is how it looks. The hinds look like this, and the front looks like this. So if your horse is stepping behind like this and going backwards, just try to get closer to their butt and drive their butt harder to get them to step around their front end instead of going back like this. The other thing they might do is actually walk forward. So instead of spinning around their left front, they actually walk forward like this. It might look like they're yielding well, which they kind of are, but I call this a forward bend. So if they walk forward, what you need to do is try to bend them more. Put a little bit of back pressure on your halter to stop that forward motion and drive their hips to the side. Some people call it hind around the front, or rear around the front, or turning on the forehand, or yielding the hindquarters. Typically, I call it yielding the hindquarters. But what I want to do is I want to have the lead rope about the length of my forearm, more or less. So from the clip to my hand is about the length of my forearm. And then I'm going to bring my hand up here. So if I raise my hand up, it shouldn't go much higher than his ear. So I'm going to keep it about right here, my shoulder relatively relaxed, okay? Now, then I'm going to step outside. So if I'm right here next to him, this isn't his cue to yield his hindquarters. I'm going to step out here to yield his hindquarters and then walk towards his hip. Now look at my stick. I'm going to raise it up over his hip. I'm looking at his hip, and then I'm going to tap the air like this. And then I'm going to start to walk towards the hip. Okay, I'm going to say no if he does it wrong, and yes if he does it right. No, 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 yes. So try to get consistently one step. Now, if he's more sensitive, so what do you do when I stopped him? He backs up. So he's backing up because he's kind of unwinding. So I'm going to walk towards the hip. See where my lead hand is? It's just up here kind of by my shoulder. Now once you get one good step a number of times, then work to 2 steps and then 3 steps and just build their confidence until you... Now today we're only going to get probably half a circle. There's one good one, 2. Some horses will go 1 good, 1 bad, or yes and no. That was good. 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 Ask him again. Good. 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 So a horse that's more reactive is going to be stiffer, and then they're going to want to shoot backwards. So he's kind of that way. But so here's your active position. You're looking at the hip, stick up, and you're just tapping lightly in the air. Then if he doesn't move, you're going to start tapping the top of his hip. Good. And then stand tall and relax, rub him, and then start again. Okay? Once you get a few steps on one side, go to the other side. Make sure and practice both sides.